The reason why you are always feeling so drained is because you are negative. You are always complaining, overthinking, and constantly in a bad mood. You are so pessimistic and negative. Your boss said something that made you mad, and so you already feel tired. Or you are stressing about that text message that leaves you feeling just as exhausted as running a marathon. This is because you are being negative, and before you click off, I will explain. It's not just in your head, so don't beat yourself about that. Science shows that negativity literally sucks the energy out of you. And today, we're breaking down why it's so exhausting, what it's costing you, and how to finally break free from it. Here's the thing. Your brain wasn't designed to handle constant negativity. Every time you complain, overthink, or stress, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol, which literally drain your energy reserves. And it's not just mental. Negativity can mess with your sleep, your focus, even your immune system. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how draining it feels to be around negative people, or even to be negative yourself? Your brain is like a battery. Every negative thought is like leaving an app running in the background. It slowly drains your power until you're running on empty. Think about it. What causes negativity? It could be stress or anger and even maybe insecurities. These factors tend to trigger your brain to perceive a threat, even if it's just a thought or emotion. This is because of the amygdala, which is the part of your brain responsible for processing emotions, especially fear and threat. It activates the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This is because the amygdala sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus, the brain's command center for stress responses. In turn, the hypothalamus releases corticotropin-releasing hormone, which signals the pituitary gland to release adrenocorticotropic hormone. Adrenocorticotropic hormone then travels through the bloodstream to the adrenal glands, which are located on top of your kidneys, prompting them to release cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol's primary job is to provide your body with quick energy to deal with a threat. It does this by breaking down muscle tissue into amino acids, which are in turn converted into glucose, which is energy, in the liver. It also increases blood sugar levels to fuel your brain and muscles. In small doses, it's helpful. It can help you focus and be alert. It also helps to maintain blood pressure, immune function, and the body's anti-inflammatory processes. The cortisol is located inside the brain and is regulated by the pituitary gland. However, constant negativity keeps cortisol levels high, thus wreaking havoc. Cortisol breaks down muscle tissues and converts them into glucose for quick energy. Over time, this depletes your energy reserves. Adrenaline, on the other hand, is the fight or flight hormone. It works hand in hand with cortisol, that is. It is released alongside cortisol to prepare your body for immediate action. In order to get you in this state, it releases stored glucose and fat into the bloodstream for quick energy. It also increases your heart rate and blood pressure to deliver more oxygen and nutrients to your muscles, in addition to dilating airways to improve oxygen intake. Like you have guessed, this constant surge of adrenaline depletes your energy stores, leaving you exhausted. Adrenaline also increases the production of free radicals, which damage cells and mitochondria, which are like your body's energy powerhouses. And if this continues, it could lead to chronic issues like high blood pressure, heart palpitations, and an increased risk of heart disease. The constant state of alertness can also exhaust your brain, leading to anxiety, irritability, and difficulty concentrating, in other words, mental fatigue. And this is what we mean when we say being negative is actually costing you more energy than being positive. Negativity isn't just a mood, it's an energy drain that affects your mind, body, and relationships. It keeps your brain stuck in a loop of rumination and overthinking, which consumes mental energy. The brain's negativity bias means it's wired to focus on threats and problems, which can be exhausting over time. Negative emotions like anger, resentment, and jealousy create inner tension and stress. Your brain, even though it's only 2% of your body's weight, it eats up 20% of your body's energy. Every thought, feeling, and decision you make, that's neurons firing electrical signals, releasing chemicals, and keeping this insanely complex system running. And if this keeps on going on for a while, it may lead to immunosuppression and even insulin resistance. This is what I mean. Every time you have a thought, your neurons send electrical pulses across tiny gaps called synapses. This spark of electricity releases chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, or cortisol, depending on the emotion. But those sparks aren't free. They burn fuel, specifically glucose and oxygen, and over time they can lead to energy depletion. Immunosuppression comes in when cortisol suppresses immune function to conserve energy for dealing with the perceived threat. This makes you more susceptible to infections and slows healing, and it can also cause sleep deprivation. When you replay negative thoughts or scenarios, it puts your brain in a loop. This is called a feedback loop. When you're negative, your amygdala becomes hyperactive, constantly scanning for threats and keeping the HPA axis activated. And like we said before, high cortisol levels can shrink the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. A smaller hippocampus makes it harder to regulate emotions and shut off the stress response, perpetuating the cycle of negativity. Chronic negativity depletes neurotransmitters like serotonin, which is responsible for mood regulation, and dopamine, for motivation and reward. Low serotonin and dopamine levels make you more prone to negative thoughts, further activating the stress response. Negativity and chronic stress trigger a pro-inflammatory response in your body. Stress increases the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are signaling molecules that promote inflammation. Chronic inflammation diverts energy away from normal cellular functions and toward repairing damage, leaving you feeling fatigued. Inflammation in the brain, neuroinflammation, impairs cognitive function, making it harder to focus and think clearly. This mental fatigue adds to the overall sense of being drained. There is this thing called a leaky gut, which might be caused by negativity. Your gut and brain go hand in hand. Your gut and brain are closely connected through the gut-brain axis. Negativity and stress disrupt this connection, leading to energy drain. Chronic stress increases intestinal permeability, leaky gut, allowing toxins to enter your bloodstream and trigger inflammation. This inflammation further depletes your energy. Stress alters the balance of gut bacteria, reducing the production of mood-boosting neurotransmitters like serotonin, 95% of which is made in the gut. This creates a feedback loop. Negativity harms your gut, and an unhealthy gut worsens your mood and energy levels. So how can you overcome this? How do you get yourself out of this negative slump so that you can maintain your energy? Well, for one, you could consider practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness reduces amygdala activity and strengthens the prefrontal cortex, helping you regulate emotions and stress. What are the things, that is, the media, books, thoughts, ideals you consume, and how do they affect you? If you figure them out, then the next step is to rewire your brain and shift it from negativity to positivity. The brain has a remarkable ability to change, a concept called neuroplasticity. You can train your brain to focus on the positive and reduce the impact of negativity. And you can do this by practicing gratitude. Gratitude boosts serotonin and dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitters, thus reducing cortisol levels. Deep breathing exercises also help reduce cortisol levels. And also, good sleep, aim for at least 6 to 8 hours. Restore your energy factories, the mitochondria, by nourishing them with whole unprocessed foods rich in antioxidants, vitamin B, and omega-3 fatty acids. Mitochondria need specific nutrients to function optimally. Avoid sugar and refined carbs, which spike cortisol and damage mitochondria. Otherwise, I truly hope this video provided value to you. Do let me know what other topics you'd like me to discuss, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.